my conclusion is that they will have to move them every 11 months for air permitting purposes.
They would have to pull them out. The goal would be is that depending on where we're at in our project, a lot of this was hinging on what we do. Hopefully in a year's time, maybe we're operational, I don't know. Obviously there's a lot of work to do in between that here and
You said you have to move them
they can't, for air permitting standpoint, they cannot be there more than a year without moving them off-site for a period of time, and then they would put them back on. Really, from a hookup perspective, it's not going to affect us.
So I'm really concerned about the sound, I guess, since I have a business right across the street, and then I'm also thinking about Fox Theater. I guess I need a little bit more explanation on that.
Do you remember what the decibel rating
I
was?
don't think they provided it yet.
Someone told me. I think it was, I better not say because they did tell me. To me, it's not like if you're watching a movie, you're not going to be able to hear these, would be my assumption, but I wouldn't swear to it either.
Okay.
And a lot of that, I guess, really what we're looking for, if this is something council's willing to do, is to work through all these issues and allow David to sign this contract. So a lot of that we can vet out in the meantime. If they're 50 dB or 150 dB at 100 feet away from it or whatever that could be, they could provide that, and we could say this makes the most sense. Why we're bringing this to you now without this all is it something you guys all want to do?
We're just approving you to approve this, not necessarily where they're going to put them exactly, right?
Well, it's
That really is the most valuable spot.
Yeah, I think to Marva's point, if these things sound like a jet engine taking off, and they provide that data, we probably don't set them there.
Right.
And then maybe we just say we don't want to move forward with this project at all because it doesn't make sense to put them someplace else.
Too hard to tie in anywhere
Yeah.
else, yeah.
But what we're asking is you to say, allow David to sign the contract, saying, once we vet those and we're comfortable saying it's a lawnmower sitting outside these at 150 feet away or 200 feet away, then I think that's realistic.
So how do you vet them, Mike? Do you do it by the dBs?
Yeah.
It would be dBs, yeah. The decibel rating of whatever, and I think we would just probably go to the alley and say, what would this be 150 feet away? And if it's, a lawnmower type of rating, I think that's something that everyone could live with.
There's usually trains out there idling too.
Yeah, might not be any worse than the train.
A lot of the time it is.
So, again, from my perspective, I think it gives us a good understanding of what we potentially could do with our generation that we're putting in down the road. If this is things as a train wreck, then we say, no, we just want capacity payments before we sign on to something that just gives us a chance to get our feet wet into it without actually signing on the dotted line on our stuff.
So do we know the length of time that they may be parked there and that, or will that be variable?
And how soon we can get ours up and running.
Yeah, so a minimum a year. The contract's for a year.
Okay.
Essentially what's happening in the Western Interconnect is they're working towards a RTO, Regional Transmission Organization. They're trying to figure all that out. Once that market is established in the West, then you just bid your generation and all your transmission into the market. Then you don't need these. Right now, it's kind of you have to supply your own power plus what they call these operating reserves, rolling reserves. Every power company is responsible to do this. So if I were guessing, I would say anywhere from 1 to 3 years.
But you have to move them every year.
They would have to pull them off-site. And that would be their responsibility, not ours. All we're doing is allowing them to tie to our system and giving them a place to put them on our land.
So they'd answer to the EPA.
So,
Okay. On the recommendation, staff would recommend the council approve staff to continue to pursue this project with the assistance of our engineer, Exponential Engineering Company, and have the city manager enter into a contract with me if an agreement can be reached between the two parties. You guys have an opinion?
Second?
Burke and Brad on the line for the motion.
Radcliffe.
Yes.
Ellinger. Yes. Sherman.
Yes.
Olson.
Yes.
thank you.
I see you anyway.
That's way too long, wasn't it?
I don't even know where we are.
10.
Hold on, I'm getting there. Oh,
Now, I have 27 pages to go through. I have a couple experts I'm going to bring in as well, so, no, I'm just kidding. No, I don't. I'm just kidding. That's probably will be the quickest one tonight. Essentially, what the Historic Board is trying to do, we've had several meetings. As you know, we have people that utilize the facade and the signage grant options to improve their facilities in the downtown, in the expanded downtown historic district. What we've run into trouble with is anymore with the lag times and stuff, you have to ask for an extension if it's even 6 months. And people are ordering signs and ordering windows, they're 6 months out before they even, when they come in to ask us to approve their COA, they're asking for an extension already, because they're already at 6 months. So the Historic Preservation Board put together a committee and went through the entire plan to see if there was other things that they thought they might want to change, and decided that this was really about the only thing that they needed to address at this time. So essentially what this allows is for us to move the timelines for people to ask for extensions out a little bit, to be a little more reasonable with the current economy. And I'm sure Vicki could probably speak to this since she's in the room. Is that essentially what we're doing, right? Am I saying it right? We're not changing anything major in our historical plan to change the way people do their build. I mean, it is still the same plan that we've always followed. We're just changing timelines. So that people aren't constantly coming back to us every 3 months saying, sorry, it's still out, it's still not here yet.
so, from 12 months to 18 months, am I reading this right?
Correct, yep. That's correct. Which anymore is unfortunately about the norm for, depending on what you do. Some people have a little bit better luck, and depends on who you're ordering and who you're ordering from.
Any other questions for David? Recommendations, approval, and adoption of updated historic preservation design guideline hints for the handbook.
So moved.
Second.
Marva and Brett.
Okay, Ellinger. Yes. Sherman.
Yes.
Olson. Radcliffe.
Yes.
Anything from the department heads?
Do you want me to say anything first?
You're start at the top.
We can skip it if you want. No, I don't have much anyway. All I have for manager's comments was the city had our employee picnic. First time we've done one of those in a long time. Saturday, it was really great. It was really well attended. It's a little windy, a little hard to hold down the plates, but it was fun. Everybody had a good time. I think most of the people in the room here, yeah, all the staff in the room here were there. So, the playground event, just to give you a reminder, they will be doing a VIP on August 1st from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. That's for people that have gave, significant donations towards the project, and since the city did give a portion of our ACE funds to that project, we are invited. They gave us a bunch of tickets. We passed them out to a lot of the staff that have kids and would want to attend that. if any council members want to attend that, there are tickets in the HR office. Autumn has some. So please do show up. It would be great if you did. I think it would be a great idea. It's a fantastic project, and we did contribute to it. So, and then the next morning, August 2nd at 8 a.m., they will be doing a ribbon cutting and opening to the general public for everybody to come and enjoy the new.
When's
the new
that
park.
again?
That will be from 8 to 10 a.m. on the next morning, August 2nd. And that will be more of the chamber will show up and they'll cut the ribbon and that kind of thing like you would normally do. So those two things are happening. There's also two events going August 2nd that evening. One of them is the Nebraska Community Foundation is doing their scheduled Visioning for Sydney open forum for the public to come to. And what Nebraska Community Foundation is doing is every community that they have a separate donor advised fund in, which, they've given money. They gave some money to the parks, I think, for that project. They've given some money to us for a fire truck. They've given some money to certain things in the community. And when they do that, they want to come in town and they want to bring everybody that wants to show up and come in and say, if money was no object, what would you want to do in Sydney? What is your pie in the sky? And the reason they do that is they want to make sure what they're contributing to is in line with the vision of the people that live here and the people that it concerns. So that's kind of why they're doing that. And that will be that night from 6:30 to, I think it's like 8 or something like that. But it's at 6:30 and it'll be at the Elks Building. And also that same night is the National Night Out, and I don't want to steal Chief Aiken's thunder, so I'll defer to him to explain that event.
That's from 6 o'clock to 8 p.m. At the Aquatic Center. We're giving away hot dogs, and we'll have the police cars down there, sheriff's vehicles, fire department vehicles.
They can bring a fire truck, yeah.
And for the public to come down and visit with police officers and firefighters and interact with us and have a good evening.
We did it last year, it was a good event.
Yeah.
It's just unfortunate that both of these are at the same time, but
I missed the date on that, Chief. What's the date?
It's the second, the same day as the other event.
so we can divide and conquer maybe.
Very good.
That's all I had.
Mark, anything? No. Brad? Marvel?
I'm good.
I'm good. Department heads, anything else?
Well, as you guys know, I have resigned as the water and sewer superintendent, so this will be my last meeting as a city employee. But you're not going to get rid of me that easy. I will be back.
Sure, you could run from that.
It's a thought.
I actually thought about it.
Go another week. 4 days.
Tell what is first.
Anybody besides Mike, we're not talking Mike no more. Okay. Well, then at 8:14, we're adjourned.
The overs have it.